Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Vulcan Wolf. Today we're playing War Thunder, and we are flying in the Battle of Guadalcanal. I am flying in the P-39 Era Cobra. It's a pretty decent plane for Tier 2, especially for this battle. To me, it seems superior to any of the A6M2 Zeros. Even though the Zero is a good turner, but I do prefer flying the P-39 Era Cobra because it is simply faster. And I believe it does climb better as well. As you can see there, I was checking the scoreboard. It looks like we are greatly outnumbered, just like always. And this should be very interesting. I think back in the day this used to be 16 Americans versus 11 Japanese, but I think they changed that up, and now we lose every time. Every time. I haven't won a single game in this mission ever since they changed it. But back in the day, it used to be 16 Americans versus, I think I said that already, but anyways, there were 16 Americans and 11 Japanese. We would win sometimes. The Japanese still kicked our ass. Yes, they kicked our ass, even though we had 16 fighters versus 11 of their fighters. Yes, I know, it's hard to believe. But anyways, a lot of American players do not climb, as you can see. There's a few people, though, it does look like they are climbing, so they will hopefully do well. I will try to help cover them if I am able to. I do like to fly solo. I always climb by myself, and I usually engage targets alone. Sometimes it's successful, sometimes it's not, but I don't have to worry about running into someone else while engaging in an aircraft. Now, sometimes you can get into a tight spot and run into the whole entire team, or enemy team, and then they will all be chasing you, and then that will be a short game for you. But it's something I always do. Just checking the scoreboard here for to see who I'm flying with. Okay, alright, so right now it's pretty quiet, pretty boring, getting some altitude. The P-39, it's a good aircraft, climbs pretty good, it's got a nice top speed, turns alright. Now the P-39 wasn't largely flown by the United States, it was mostly flown by the Russians during the Lend-Lease program during World War II. The Russians loved this aircraft, the United States pilots didn't like it very much. Now the Russians liked it mostly because it had great radio equipment. The P-39 Air Cobra was they used it with great success against the Luftwaffe. They used it as a fighter, and a lot of people think that it was used as a ground attack aircraft, but it actually wasn't. The Russian translation says cover of ground, or attack of ground, or cover of attack ground. It's just however you want to say it. The translation from Russian to English isn't exactly, the words never really line up, so you have to kind of piece it together. But a lot of people, when they did translate it over, they thought it meant that it was a ground attack aircraft, but it actually wasn't. It covered ground attack aircraft, such as the IL-2, the most produced fighter not fighter, but the most produced military aircraft of all time. Okay, here we go. Looks like we have a few people down low. Too low for me to dive at, because I don't want to lose all my altitude. So we'll see if we can cover some people that are a lot higher. Oh, looks like we got somebody over there, KI-43, bothering this PBY over there. We'll see if we can go and help him out. The KI-43 isn't the best plane to be flying against, for attacking bombers especially. It only has two 50 caliber machine guns, and a PBY is a very durable aircraft with lots of machine guns and lots of gunners to man those machine guns. And just as I thought, the PBY has taken out the KI-43, but it looks like there are other people that are trying to swarm him. Unfortunately, I never dive at the first bomber for this reason, because it puts you at a lower altitude than the enemy. I always climb as high as I can and engage the fighters before I attack the bombers. That's just part of my best practices in flying. The P-39 Air Cobra actually was flown by the fighter ace Gregory Rechkarlov. He racked up the most of his kills in a P-39. He flew a Chaika, I-153 Chaika, which means seagull. And he was then put into the P-39. He wasn't a very good pilot, actually, at first, but he later caught on and got better. And it looks like we have someone that wants to try to climb on me. So we will deal with that business, and we got a wing shot there. Nice little wing shot. Just as I said, the 37mm cannon is a murderer. Looks like right now we are outnumbered still. We got somebody down there that's fighting, but they're too low for me, because I don't like to go that low, especially with zeros around. They do have a better turn rate than the P-39 or any of the American aircraft that are flying here, so never turn fight with these guys. Now it looks like we have a P-38 over here that did climb, so we will try to help him out. Give him some air cover, try to help him get a kill or get me a kill. The P-39 actually was a great aircraft in real life. In War Thunder, unfortunately, it's a terrible aircraft. Oh, yeah, he lined that shot up for me. Get some tunnel vision, son. I'm gonna sneak up on him like a Japanese. That's what they do. They always sneak up on you and kill you. Yep, that guy lined that shot up for me, so he's a pretty good P-38 pilot. Especially for this game, because it's such a hard aircraft to fly. Can't stop yawning today. I didn't get my coffee like I normally should have, so my brain may not be functioning correctly. Okay, it looks like we got 3 fighters left, and they have 5 something left, so some of those gotta be fighters. This mission sucks when he flies the United States, but I would rather fly the United States than the Japanese planes here. And just scanning the area, looking around to see if I can find any Japanese. Turn my engines down so I can not overheat them as fast, and also to save on fuel. I have flown this mission before and ran out of fuel in the middle of an engagement. I think there was 3 of us pilots left, and I was giving top cover to 2 of them, and because I always like to be the highest person, I don't like to be the lowest or any lower than anyone in a game, so I always be the highest, because that means you can control the fight from beginning to end. But anyways, I was providing top cover, and I was running low on fuel. So I had to disengage the battle, and I had to go land to refuel. Well, when I was refueling, one of our pilots was shot and killed. And that left one other pilot and me. And I was taking off, and I just get off the airstrip, and a Zero dived down and shot me down. So I was low, and I was slow, and I died because I didn't carry enough fuel into the battle. So now I always fly with 30 minutes of fuel in this game. I don't fly with any less. It looks like that P-39 over there is engaging another target. And it looks like most of the other Japanese pilots are low right now, and they don't feel like climbing back up. So we'll use our superior altitude to turn that into speed so we can do some attacks. Slow it down a little. Get ready for a dive, because we're going to dive really fast. This plane can take up to about 850 kilometers per hour. I don't know all these call signs yet, so I have to like search through them. I still haven't learned to say thank you on there yet, so I have to look through them more. We may have failed the mission, but we won't lose the war. Actually, we might lose, because we always lose here. Just turning around here, trying to stay above that P-38. The more I stay above him, the more cover I can give him, and it allows me to line up shots. When you dive down, you don't exactly want to go at a very steep angle. You want to go at a little bit to the side and then back in. You don't want to attack from exactly directly up top, because it's kind of hard to turn, and you get too much speed that way. As you can see now, the wind is rushing past your wings. That means you're hitting your maximum speed. And yeah, when it turns red like that, that means you have reached a critical speed. And this guy disengaged. He saw me coming, and he disengaged the target to turn. So he obviously knows what he's doing, so we will have to be careful of him. You don't want to fight with somebody that knows what they're doing on an even ground, because they may know how to get on your ass quicker. Oh, it looks like a P... Is that a crash? Did KI-43 crash? I don't know. Who knows? Okay. Hopefully we'll be able to sneak up on this guy. He's not climbing up after him, so he probably sees me. Yep, he does. You see how he turned like that? He knew what he's doing, but this guy has tunnel vision, and we will show him what happens when you get tunnel vision. That right there. He probably didn't even see me coming. Just like most pilots that get tunnel vision, they don't check your six. You gotta check your six, man. You gotta watch your ass. Watch that ass. Because that is the way you will lose game. Or at least die. That's for sure, is not watching your ass. But I always try to attack with an advantage. I don't like to, um, I don't like to fight fear. It's war. Nothing is fair. Nothing. Yep, he looped inside me on that one to avoid my attack. So we are going to try to get away from him, get some separation. This plane doesn't exactly loop over the best because it's not very top heavy. It's a the engine's in the middle of the airframe. Oh, we got two of us left, two fighters left versus two of theirs, it looks like maybe. Or one. Is this the last guy? Yeah. I think this is the last guy. But he has dodged most of my attacks. Actually, I think he dodged all my attacks. Yeah, he's dodged 3 of my attacks, and that just goes to show you that he is watching to see what's going on around him. He is the last guy alive. In the I know that never happens. We never win this. So we're gonna try to get a good shooting angle on him. And there. Oh, we got some good hits. But I don't think I hit with any of my 37mm cannons there. Hopefully I hit a wing or something. Hit something on his controls, so he's gonna have a difficult time flying. Cannons are starting to run low. Now, I would be out of fuel right now if I did take 20 minutes of fuel with me, so taking 30 minutes allowed me to stay 10 extra minutes in the air over 20. Oh, did he die? Maybe, are we killing ground targets now? Oh shit. Yeah, never do that. I thought he was dead. Oh, got some hits. Yeah, I thought he died. You gotta be careful of that. In night missions, they're alright. I mean, they're fun to fly because you don't get to fly night missions very often, but it's hard to spot aircraft. It's very hard. Like, the only way I usually can spot them is by their tracers. Oh, son. Got a few hits. I like to get as close as I possibly can before I shoot. That's actually something the Polish pilots did in the Battle of Britain. They would wait until they were practically on top of the German Luftwaffe before they would shoot. And the Polish pilots racked up really high scores. I mean, they downed a lot of aircraft. I mean, they completely obliterated the Germans. And when they fled Poland, the Polish Air Force were flying biplanes against the Messerschmitt 109. And those guys had a rough time, man. I would never fly a biplane against a Messerschmitt, that's for sure. Even in E1, I wouldn't. Now, when they got to the Battle of Britain, they flew the Hurricanes. And when they got in this plane, they just thought they were in heaven. Because this plane was maneuverable, it was fast, you know, it could turn really well, and they didn't have to fight the plane as hard to down the Luftwaffe. And they would always shoot at the last possible moment. And a lot of people thought they were lying about their kills, but they actually weren't. Because they had a senior officer that flew out with them and was spying on them to see how they were doing. And when he saw what they were doing, he couldn't believe it. He was amazed by how great of pilots these Polish pilots were. if I were him and I was damaged, I would go land. So I'm gonna try to watch his... Oh, never mind. There he is. I should have known. He hasn't been off this guy's ass the whole game. He's been chasing this P-39 since day one. I should have known. But if I were him, I would have already landed. Even though I should have went to land, but I didn't want to leave this P-38 by himself. Alright, let's do it. I'm on my last bit of ammo. Hopefully we can get an engine shot. And no. Well, it looked like he pulled up into me, but that happens. He is a Japanese pilot. They do like to kill themselves. So, anyways, that was... looks like we won. Awesome. So, all that hard work of flying against the United States today, I finally get a win playing against the Japanese. That was very tough. That was a tough game, because we lost almost everyone. If it wasn't probably for that P-38 flying with us, we'd have lost. That's for sure. He definitely helped me out a big time by lining up shots for me. And that looks like that is it. This is Falcon Wolf. I thank you for watching, and have a nice day.